Hello, welcome back to Plant Medicine with Tania Leanne. Today, Spirit would like to talk about an herb called Black Cohosh. That's C-O-H-O-S-H. It actually came super interestingly. I am 46 years old and I've been perimenopausal for a number of years. And this has caused me a lot of health issues. So in working with my naturopath, what happened is my estrogen was a little bit high, so she gave me a supplement to bring down the estrogen. So I believe what happened, and I've actually run this by her since, is my estrogen got taken down too low. So it got taken down to the point that it actually put me into menopause. So I was actually dealing with not getting my periods, joint pain, major stomach problems, stomach acid. I couldn't sleep. I was having night sweats. I thought I was dying. I was having a major inflammatory response in my body. I was feeling super duper crappy. So we did a whole bunch of tests to see if there's any autoimmune diseases or if anything was happening, and there was nothing outside of hormones happening with my body. So, which was actually quite scary because I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. My iron plummeted to the point that I needed infusions. It was just really terrible. And in actually researching and learning more about menopause, these are all quite significant menopausal symptoms. So on a side note, there's a book. It is called The New Menopause. I cannot think of the author's name right now, but if you Google it, this woman is phenomenal. She's a gynecologist, and she spent a ton of time researching perimenopause, and she goes through so much in her book. Highly recommend the book. I am certainly not sitting here under any circumstances suggesting that I understand perimenopause or hormones or how that's all supposed to balance. However, what I can say is what the naturopath gave me in order to lower my estrogen was an herb. It was like an herbal naturopathic type supplement. Now, I guess the message that Spirit really wants to get across here is that this isn't the type of thing to be played with. You can really mess up your hormonal balance by taking something that you shouldn't be and without sort of proper guidance. Now, I had proper guidance, but luckily I had somebody that I could go to and be like, hey, this isn't working. So now we're doing something different where we're trying to bring my estrogen back up, my estrogen and progesterone. And I cannot even begin to tell you guys how much better I feel. I sleep through the night, I'm getting up in the morning, and I actually have energy and feel amazing. So back to my Nette story. So I'm talking to Nette about this, and I'm like, Nette, I'm starting to get concerned. I'm so exhausted. I really feel terrible. And also at the time I had a kidney infection. So we get off of our podcast, and she ends up sending me a message. She goes, yeah, Spirit's coming through, and they're really wanting to talk about, and she spelled it Black Cohosh, or Black Cohosh, C-O-O-S-H, and bless Nette's heart, but she's dyslexic. So she goes, it's something like Black Cohosh. She said, I'm seeing a black snake, I'm seeing Canada, and I'm seeing balancing scales. So we're both kind of sitting here trying to figure it out. I'm like, well, a snake means transformation, and the balancing scales obviously mean balance. I'm like, so I don't know. She's like, no. She's like, I just sat down with them, and it's something to do with a supplement. It's something that you can actually take. So I started looking into it, and it was Black Cohosh. Cohosh, whether I'm saying it right or not, I don't know. So what that information gave me, when I actually very briefly Googled Black Cohosh, it is actually used for estrogen. So I think the moral of this story is this isn't something to be messed with. If you take a supplement, you need to make sure that you are being supervised by somebody that actually knows what they're doing. However, in my sort of journey in this, in my next appointment, I talked to my naturopath about it, and I said, do you know this herb called Black Cohosh? She says, yes, absolutely, I do know this herb, and it is a great herb. She goes, but your hormones are so messed right now that you actually need to be taking hormones, not trying to balance them with a supplement. So what she said is that it can be used for estrogen related things. When I tuned into spirit and was like, just as we were about to sit down with this, they did say, and I'm looking at my notes, they're saying that it balances the estrogen release in the body. And here's their suggestion. Their suggestion is 3 to 4 leaves. You chew them in your mouth and then you stick them up in your gum and let it sit there for a time. Interestingly, they didn't say how long. They're saying that you'll kind of feel it or sense it when nothing medicinal anymore is coming out of it. It's almost like it's going to lose its potency and you'll be able to taste it or feel it or something. So they're saying 3 to 4 leaves chewed up in a day and resting in your gums so that it can actually enter your body that way. And they're saying to take it around your menstrual, or to use it around your menstrual cycle, because it's going to help sort of easing menstruation and cramps and all that kind of stuff that comes along with it. They're also right now saying it's a diuretic, so it's very good for bloating and stuff like that around your period, because it will release, when you're retaining water, it will actually help release that. They did say a warning to me when I was writing this down. They said do it for 7 days, but no more. Like don't do it for any longer than that. And those are sort of the 5 to 7 days that you're menstruating. And when, like I said, back to my story about Nette and I, they came through with a very clear message that if Black Cohosh is something that I was going to do, because I had a kidney infection at the time, they said to make sure that the kidney infection is healed, because it can cause problems with the kidney. So again, that's my spirit story. It's so funny, the actual process for how this information comes through. I hope that's somewhat helpful. Again, make sure that you are doing this with a medical professional that actually knows what they're talking about. But that is Spirit's herb for the day. Take care, and I super look forward to seeing you again.